going to go for a more concerted build. An extra combat engineer into 2 conscripts. And let's see how well he mitigates it. He knows what he's up against. He didn't counter it the first time, but he might be able to counter it the second time. And there's Stormless is very rightly mentioned for all you YouTube viewers, Twitch and ourselves. We just witnessed the fact that Russia just beat Spain in the penalty shootout of the last 16 of the World Cup. So Nagano is probably having such an amazing moment right now. You can probably hear like horns and AK-47 fire in the background as people celebrate the fact that Russia are through. So he's probably on a wave of excitement.
I certainly expect he is. And, hey, it's looking like a good day for Russia, so Nagano has every chance by the luck of the draw. It's just going to be one of those days for Russian dominance. Let's see if he can carry it through. Nagano here, actually Von Ivan looked a little bit slow on the infantry again, running Pioneers right past an engineer squad, taking some mod losses and a retreat. So you see Von going for those resources again.
It's all he's about. He wants to get those vehicles out and get his meta rolling, because he don't care about VP scores. He just cares about getting those incredible call-in vehicles for Moba Death.
Nagano would be wise. It's interesting because it's like, wait, one's a VP player, one's a resource player, which one wins? And they're both going to be stubborn. Because one of them could easily go, okay, well, actually, my opponents... That's what happened the last game. Von was like, Nagano's playing the VP, so I'll play the VPs as well. And Von Ivan came out well on top.
Yeah, I have to say I don't prescribe fully to what Von Ivan told you on that masterclass episode of being VP players and resource players, but I understand your overall points. Von Ivan just played the game a lot differently.
Do you know what I mean?
No, I don't think it's exactly. I think Nagano is more just a standard Company of Heroes player, and Von Ivan's the different one. He's the odd one out, you know. He's the one that's going for something wacky. I don't think it's a decision that Nagano's making. It doesn't enter into his thought. He's playing the standard game, and Von Ivan's playing this crazy Russian vehicles out and trying to throw you off and going for a huge rush. That's the way I read it. Grenadiers under heavy duress from a flamethrower here, getting pushed away. Conscript getting attacked by 4 soldiers of the Ver.
Yeah, Nagano's going to come out strongly on top of the first phase of gameplay. I think actually that flamethrower on the engineer has been pivotal in pushing away some of the grenadiers from the center. Actually, it's going to leave Nagano with double of the fuel resource, and he could even get an early triple cap. I would say that is a very, very strong start game.
It is. It's always been Von Ivan's weakness. Infantry, small arms play. And I think it was in full effect there. He did try and prioritize that green cover. You would have thought that would win. But Nagano had the angles. He had the flamethrower, most importantly. And he won that engagement. And Von Ivan, grouping his infantry up, lost the engagement. And then when you group your infantry up and you go, you go full in for something and it doesn't work, it really loses a lot of map control in the early game.
Yeah, it's high risk, high reward strategies. And Von Ivan, you see he's prioritizing that tech again. It's gone straight into tier 2. Got no care for any healing, even with the flamethrower on the field. And that's going to mean these pioneers are going to go down very, very quickly.
Look at that damage from the flamethrower. That's a 1-man squad. That used to be a 4-man squad, and it happened in a mere blink of an eye. Conscripts waiting behind green cover. 2 layers of resistance. Deep battle there, allowing the Grenadiers to break upon them. Very Talisman-esque in just waiting for his opponent to come and saying, come at me, bro. I've got the engagement. You haven't got it.
Just looking like, where does Von go from here? And I think it's interesting that he chose left, because that's got a brutal cutoff that has green cover. And there's a lot of conscripts on the field that can push that. Let's have a look at Nagano at the moment. He's going to go tier 2. He's going to play tier 1 in the first.
Amazing hoorah in unison, pushing away the MG42 just by running it and shouting the words hoorah. And it's quite scary.
Enemy forces are securing
No, we don't even have to explain it. It's great.
No.
Got Grenadier on the fuel point here. Is getting the fuel point, but isn't actually connecting it. Conscripts are doing a great job of keeping the cutoffs. What's happening here? Nagano is doing an excellent job in the early game. Saying that, I'm pretty sure we saw that before, and Von Ivan quickly turned it around. So careful.
Well, I don't really know. I mean, again, he's in a recovery position. He went for something very, very grand at the start, didn't work, so he's just in a recovery position. Nagano, just like in the first game, look at the VP bleed, 150 down in the first 7 minutes. So Nagano is really, really just... He's putting that pressure in on the center, and Von just isn't responding to it. He's trying to spread out still, go center and left, not winning any engagements anywhere. And look at this, the engineers, they're going to get ground attack through the hedgerow.
Yes, beautiful. They couldn't even get the grenadier here. Oh, just in between bursts. That was like a platformer. You know what I mean? Like a computer game where you have to jump between an obstacle. They just about timed it. Well, accidentally, of course. But anyway, I actually want to point out something that is a little bit brutal for you Von Ivan fans. So if you don't want to hear criticism, look here, you know, pretend I'm not even talking. But Von Ivan's being a little bit exposed here. As he's, unfortunately for him, been a bit unlucky at times in the early game, his lack of infantry prowess is really starting to show in this game, and Nagano's bossing it. He's absolutely bossing it. MG.
Really, really silly MG positioning there. You can't even explain what Von Ivan would have been thinking then, to set up so close to the building.
Look at this roar as well. Pioneer has to sacrifice himself. Oh. He has to sacrifice himself, but he might actually get taken out now. He's setting up. Oh no!
Oh, ridiculous. I mean, it's a good idea. Not, you know, you may as well sacrifice the Pioneer Squad and not give an MG away. That would make life very difficult for him. So, I think maybe that was still worth it. Von's managed to recap, so he's at least getting resources in. But Tier 2, this strategy has been stunted.
Oh god, it's been so stunted. You know, finally connecting a fuel 8 minutes in is a huge penalty for Von Ivan. He's going to be on the back foot. We're in for one of those long games where you would not expect Nagano to cede control. You also do never expect Von Ivan to give up, especially in an ace game decider. So buckle up. Von Ivan is going to be trying to eke out some kind of comeback, and it's going to take him a while.
He might be okay. And the T-70 is going to hit pretty soon. And when it does, I mean, Von Ivan's about to get... He's about to get the Puma unlock. So I guess that will help. I guess this is what mobile defense is actually very good for, is if you also don't have a great start to the game. Classically, that's what it's very good for.
It used to be, yeah. I guess.
Yeah, if you fail to make any ground at the start, you have that kind of get back in button.
So it's the return of the Panic Puma then, isn't it? It used to be the Panic Puma, then it became the Prevalent Puma.
Winnie the Puma.
Ah, indeed. I think that's a Veteran C3 one. Here comes the T-70, he's got a brief window of opportunity. Von Ivan is in base, not reinforcing. Well, he is reinforcing this Grenadier, but he won't reinforce the second one because he needs to get the Puma out. He's got 77 fuel. T-70 running ramp shot. Nice shots in on the Grenadiers. Isn't able to get another wipe there, but some good health damage. But then again, the bunker just came up online in base.
Are you seeing tripwire flares there? Oh gosh, there's tripwires being laid everywhere. I think actually, yeah, a couple of tripwires. Like we said in the last game, it's really good to see Soviets utilizing the conscripts' abilities, because it's absolute hell for 4-man squads to be losing a model everywhere they run. It is one of the great mechanisms that Soviets has to put extra pressure on attacking players.
Agreed. Puma's coming into field of view. There is a mine there, so he needs to be a bit careful. We do have 18A's teching. He's heard the Puma around. Now he's seen it, certainly. But he teched as soon as he heard the Puma enter the battlefield. So good there by Nagano. Grandies are going to trigger the mine, though. Maybe. Very close. Tripwire flares being planted on the southern VP by those conscripts. Don't even have to cap it, they're just there to plant tripwires.
See, Von is actually paying attention to VPs now. It's interesting. That makes me think he might actually be under a little pressure.
Yeah, he is. He really is. He knows he's up against it here. But this game's all or nothing. It's a best of one series now. You know, Von Ivan's on a faction he really likes and a commander he really likes. Nagano, similar. Great map, Fame and Vil approach. Von Ivan might have had a poor early game, but he's certainly a master of comebacks. do with your Nagano now? Do you go for tier 4 and a T30? Sorry, KV1? Or do you get maybe an SU out or a T70 out and just continue to put the pressure down? It's got to be something. No, it can't be another T70 because of the Puma, of course.
I would have thought just stick with what has played very well throughout the tournament so far. It's the KV1 and SU85 combination. I think on a map as short, base to base, you know, as Faymanville, it's going to be such a good strategy. Think about as well, if it comes down to it with the Katusha, you know, you've got effectively base to base range. It's good enough for interesting.
Very interesting. The combat engineer's pushed away. The Puma gets rid of the tripwire flares. No, actually, that was one. Yeah, he got rid of one and then one killed in the squad in the south there. Puma just went past the mine. That was close.
Seeing these models drop everywhere to these tripwires. Nice movements from the conscripts. Catch this machine gun completely off guard, and they're killing the members as they are walking to the mount. Puma trying to chase the T70 down in the center. Hits a mine. Well-placed mine that will save Nagano.
Still double fuel for Nagano. That was an excellent defense there. He's got a lot of fuel, a lot of manpower. He sent the Vet 2 combat engineer that barely survived there back to base. Let's see what he does now. Springboard to tier 4. Yes, indeed, he's got both combat engineers back in base. He's going to get a quick tier 4. He's already 107 fuel. KV1 in around 16 minutes, I would estimate.
I think it's a good choice. It's a really good choice.
I think it's, yeah, you're right, it's the obvious choice, I guess. Wrong to even pose the question, I suppose. It's Nagano who's going to get the Soviet hammer out. KV1.
Well, looking at Von Ivan, if Nagano has spotted 3 MG42s on the field and 4... Oh, well...
Oh, my lord!
Now
What a
3
shot!
Grens. I mean, he's got to expect that actually KV1 is going to force an AT gun. And I think it's good if you can force your opponent to build something that they're maybe not intending to build. You see, Von is already having to spend resources in Pioneers.
Look at this. 138 fuel. He can already build anything else he wants, but he wants that KV1. He's got the manpower now. He needs... Look how quick the fuel's going up as well. He's got a lot of standard territory points. He's got a huge income, 32. And there you go. He's got the KV1 available to build. And there you go. It's now under construction. KV1 building.
Thank you. It's not Command and Conquer. It's,
Silos needed. Silos needed.
Oh, that phrase was nightmares for me when I was younger. I was quite young when I played that game. I never quite understood what they did at that age, but
Well,
I remember hearing it.
Children don't often think about, you know, saving money, I guess. It's not something to think about. To be quite frank, it's the silliest RTS mechanic of all time, the silo, because of course you want to spend all of your economy on units.
I just wanted to build defenses. I just wanted to wall off. Anyway, wrong game, because we were in Company Heroes, and Puma's in a little bit of problems here. T70 is going to push the Puma. There's more AT grenades going in. Main gun destroyed. That Puma is as good as dead. Even worse than dead.
And what's worse than dead, being a relic on the battlefield, a ghost. And
Yeah,
the
he's gotta
T70's protecting it, destroys it. Nice camaraderie shown by Nagano there. And unit complete. The KV1 is on the battlefield. I called it the Soviet hammer earlier. Of course, that was the KV2. This is more of the Soviet anvil. It's so great at soaking up damage and just rolling through you. And here it comes. I have to say that this looks like GG.
Oh, it's yeah. It's not a fight, it's an execution. And Nagano, there's just something with Russia today. I think Von Asten's going to have to be careful in the next series. Assuming Nagano does clear this.
So we we've got to wish for not a Von versus Von confrontation. It's going to be... oh, the MG was stolen and then countered, but here comes Sturmovich.
Well. Oh, he's lost another group!
Oh, insult to injury from those Sturmovics there. The Grenadiers taken out of this plane of existence, and the reality of qualifying today is being taken further out of Von Ivan's reach as Nagano reigns supreme. The KV-1 slowly traverses his turret, almost methodically, and extinguishes the last remaining light of vestige for Von Ivan and his horde of fans.
Yep, it's an ugly battlefield right now. KV-1 just constantly kiting the base. The MG42 is actually sitting near its headquarters, trying to suppress conscripts coming in. It's ugly, really ugly.
So yes, and here we go.
Oh,
this is what. No. Oh, another death, another day for the Sturmovics again with a huge barrage in the base sector. This is fantastic game design.
We have 200 points remaining.
Von is waiting for the VPs to drain, I think.
I told you he would not quit. I told you that I predicted this would be the case from those early game engagements where he lost every single one.
He's penetrating with the Puma though. He needs to get some kind of Faust, work his magic with Puma range. You can see how far it can fire.
Look at the mines though.
He's not. It's not that he's not doing it. Look at him, he's giving it a go.
So much health, dude. I think he's got like
it's gonna backfire though, Von!
Oh, double 18-8. Boom, boom. Here comes a T-70. Oh, T-70 trying to get around that turret traverse. It's been hit once, but it might not be hit twice. Faust is trying to come in. T-70, rear armor hits, even though shot through the front and gets the kill.
The enemy has dealt us a blow.
What a way to go out of this series. Two very good games. Well, wait, no. One very good game. And, yeah, actually, last week, Von Ivan, even yesterday, Von Ivan's performance was incredible. I don't know what's happened today. It seems slightly off-key, but this is what we say about Von Ivan. He's not consistent all the time. More so than he ever used to be, but...
I think, yeah.
Territory is out of contact.
I feel like supporting Von Ivan's
changed.
like supporting England in the World Cup, you know, because it's like absolutely blitz the first group round and then
I'm trying to think
terrible
of... See what you're saying, that wasn't a bad analogy, but I'm sure there's a better one we can think of. Think of some kind of sportsman that like does one crazy thing and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, and when it doesn't, it's a bit sad. But when it works, it's absolutely glorious and complete genius.
Von Ivan. Oh wait.
There is an analogy there. Come on, chat. The analogy we're looking for is somebody that does something in an incredibly unorthodox way, and when it fails, it's silly, and when it succeeds, it's amazing. Try and think of one for us. Thank you.
I'm still thinking.
New anti-tank gun has arrived.
The KV-1 out.
You stumped me here. I don't know why this is so important to me that we're allowing dead
It's like
air.
a riddle, isn't it? We need
like
an analogy.
I feel like the first person.
If you... Oh, me! Like, oh, Tom McCarthy says hairbrain. That's brutal. That's just an insult. That's not an analogy.
Yeah, we're not asking for things that describe Von Ivan. We're asking for a bit more than that.
El Ridiculo.
How about Zorro? I think Zorro is pretty...
Really stretched the barrel here, Dan. Explain, please. I'm all ears.
It's kind of like, you know, jump through the wall, sword everyone down. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Johnny English, I don't know.
Fair enough.
Either way.
Oh, here we go. I don't want to get hyped for an IL-2. Ooh, lovely shot by the T-70. Got all three crew members at once. Got KV-1s in base. Sure, Von Ivan has dropped from the game. I wasn't expecting that. There you go. We have Nagano through to the final.
All right, well, we are back, and you know what? I've got to say, credit to Von Ivan. Game 2, fantastic. You know, definitely showing what he is worth to this community in tournament. But the other ones just kind of fell flat a little bit. He's maybe got to sort something out for next week. Good to see Nagano back in.